and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing kind of like a requested video. I got a lot of requests for this on my 10k giveaway, and I'd actually never ever thought or considered making a video like this just because I just never thought about it. So a lot of you requested a beginner's video, not on like a beginner's makeup look, but beginners on if you're just starting out with makeup, what are a few key products and a few key things that you need or that you should get when you are starting out, and you know what are some key products, you know, just so you don't go wasting all your money on stuff that you don't need. And also a lot of you that aren't sure about what you should buy and you're just getting into makeup and you don't even know where to start because it can be so overwhelming. So many different products you can get, but you can't buy them all or you'd be broke / massively in debt. Probably not a good idea to go in debt over makeup. Sometimes I spend a bit too much money on makeup, but we're not going to go into that today. Anyways, if you want to find out how to pick up your makeup starter kit, please keep watching. So I'm going to start off with the face. A lot of these products, if you watched my videos before, you would have seen me use a lot of them, obviously, because I love them and I'm not going to recommend things to you that aren't that good. First, I would recommend 100%, this is dirty, but getting a sponge. Mine is currently damp, why it's so big. I bought these off buyinvite.com, so it's kind of like one of those sale websites. This is not a beauty blender, especially if you're on a budget and you're saving. You don't need to get a beauty blender. These cost me a couple of dollars and I got quite a few. Amazing. It's something that you really need to do, especially if you want to, you know, blend your foundation out like a pro. This is one of the most cheapest tools that you can get. Primer is so essential. I will never ever go without doing primer on my face. It freaks me out if I put makeup on and haven't put a primer on. It creates a base between your skin and the makeup. It doesn't, it's not a 100% foolproof because I mean there is nothing, but if you want to stop your pores getting super clogged up, you need to use a primer. I normally always use a moisturizer and then like a primer over the top of that. I love the Rimmel Lasting Finish Primer. You would have seen this in my favorites. You would have seen this in my giveaway if you've watched that. Is one of my favorites. This is for if you want to get a nice glowing face. It has a really glowing dewy finish and I 100% recommend this if that's the look you're going for. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. This primer is perfect especially if you're going to school and that kind of thing and you want to stay matte all day and don't want to be shiny. This is really good for keeping that matte face. A lot of you I know are in school or in college or that kind of thing, and if you're starting off, you definitely need like a matte primer that's going to last you all day. If you're worried about your pores, another one that I would recommend is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Razor. I put this, if you see my videos, around my nose, chin and T-zone area. This is really important for, you know, making that area look matte and not super porey. Not really like making sure that your pores don't stand out. This is probably the only foundation that I'm going to recommend to you guys just because it's one of the only ones that I think really works. I'm wearing this right now. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Matte Mattifying Foundation. I'm in the color 24 Golden Beige. You would have seen if you watched some of my videos, I use this a lot. If you have dry skin, it's probably not for you. It definitely will dry you out a little bit, but what I normally do if my skin's a little on the drier side, I'll normally mix the Face of Australia Mineral Therapy Illuminator together and it gives more of a natural glow dewy finish. But if you're going to school and you're a teenager, you normally do have skin on the oilier side a lot, especially if you know, putting quick makeup on for the day or, you know, even if you're just wearing makeup for a whole day. This is perfect because it won't make you look shiny and gross throughout the day. I really like this and I will always blend it out using a damp sponge, so these two together are a definite must. Another thing that I find important, and especially if you're getting your starter kit going, maybe get one concealer to start off with and see how you go. Definitely need to color match, but I always go a few shades lighter than my actual skin because concealer really is to conceal under the eye area. I find especially if you've got dark circles and that kind of thing. I love the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin. I'm in the color Light Clear and I always use this under my eyes, and I also love Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It is a really easy applicator for those of you that are beginners just because it's got this sponge and you just wind it up. It's very long lasting. I always put it under my eyes and it also acts as a base for your eyes so that before you put powder and eyeshadow over your eyes, it's always good to cancel out all that discoloration with a concealer. If you're wanting to cover up your acne, I would recommend a concealer the same shade as your foundation that you were using, and then all you do is sort of put it on the spots just a tiny dot on the spot and just slightly blend it in on what you're trying to cover up, and then underneath, and then put your foundation over the top. I don't have any foolproof ways of getting that flawless skin if you have acne, and it can definitely help conceal those, because you don't want to put a white concealer dot, which I have done before a few years ago. Yeah. Another drugstore product that I would recommend in the shape of like a powder for your face is the Face of Australia, and it's the loose translucent powder. I know a lot of you also recommended there's a Ben Nye banana powder. I don't know if he does loose translucent powders. I'm sure he does. If you're in America, it's a lot cheaper, so I don't know if you can really get Face of Australia for that cheap. Especially if you don't want to spend all the money on the Laura Mercier loose translucent powder. That is probably like a bit much, especially for people at school. It's a bit more expensive. This is perfect for, you would see a lot of people baking all the time. If you're a beginner but you want to get that flawless look, I would recommend getting a flat white sponge like this. It's thin, it's dry, and all I do is, you would see it before, is pat the powder straight under my eyes, in my T-zone, nose, chin area. It stops you from being shiny. It gives you a really nice flawless base. And then it is also good at mattifying your entire face. So if you just get a brush, use a really light amount and then dust it all over your face. And if I do want to sort of give myself a nice glow, I will always use the Rimmel Natural Bronzer. I feel like a bronzer is a definite must in your beginner's starter kit. 100%. You need at least one bronzer that really suits your skin tone, and maybe one blush if you really want that. I use the 025 Sun Glow, sort of an orange bronzer, so it wouldn't be as good for really light skin tones, but then again, I get a really white face sometimes. What bronzer is important for, and what I use it for the most, is to just give my cheeks a little bit of color. What I like most about this bronzer in particular is that you can just put a little bit on your brush, sort of dab it, and then just give yourself a little bit of color, and you're on your way. You don't need to do anything else. And if you're getting a starter kit or you're just starting, bronzer is a must. I would recommend a matte bronzer and not shimmery at all, because shimmery bronzers, and especially if you're like, yeah, and then you go and then you just ruined your whole face. I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast, but I'm just trying to make this video not go for like 16 hours. Next, I'm going to show you my BH Cosmetics Bombshell Bronze Starlet Illuminating Bronzer. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I use this all the time. This is really good, and I think I've mentioned this before. This is a bronzer, a shimmery bronzer, if you're just willing to take the next step. It is also good for a highlight if you're really wanting to get a really nice highlight and you're just new. With highlighter, all I do is get my nice fan brush, go across, and then sort of just put it along the tops of my cheeks. But then it can also be used lightly as a blush as well. So this one is really good if you're just starting out, because it has so many different uses, and then you don't have to buy so many different products. I also use it sometimes to do my eyeshadows. I normally will also put this under my brow bone, but you can just get your brush, sort of swirl it around, or if you just want to use the brown color, and just sort of put it over your eyelid. But if you're starting out and you've heard a lot about highlighters and you're like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, how many do I get? There are a lot of highlighters out there. I really like and really think it's nice the Balm Mary LouManizer. This suits lighter skin tones and darker skin tones. That's probably why I like it. This is really good. I can get it in Australia for like $25, $30 I think. Now onto eyes. First I'm going to start off with eyebrows. Eyebrows, I cannot be underestimated, people. They are so important in shaping and defining your face. So even if you're young, I recommend you watching a few brow tutorials. I have one if you want to check it out, so I'll link it down below. I used to never fill in my brows, and then when I started doing it, I realized it changed my face. You would have seen this a lot before anyway, but my favorite is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. It is good because it's like a brow pencil, and it's really easy. It won't make your eyebrows too dark. It won't make them too overdrawn. You can just sort of whisk it through your hairs, and then you can just define your brows, sort of draw on the ends a little bit more, and it will change the shape of your face. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it will last you a while. You can brush it through, and then you can sort of tame your brows and brush them to where you want them to be. I'm in soft brown as well, just because I don't like to go super dark. Next, onto eyes. I'm just going to recommend you two eyeshadow palettes that if you're really just starting out and you're just testing the waters with makeup, but you want to get some nice palettes, or a palette that you can use every single day, I 100% would recommend the Chocolate Bar palette. It's my world and my life. This is a really good palette because it has neutral colors, light tones, shimmery tones, matte tones. Like, this is exactly what you need if you're starting out, because it has the perfect neutral tones, but it can also get you a smoky eye, a shimmering eye, gold, like a great brow bone highlight right there. You're a bit strapped for cash and you want to go for a more drugstore palette but more neutrals. I would always recommend getting a neutral palette first. I like the Models Prefer Nude eyeshadow palette. It has the perfect amount of neutrals. It's only a small palette, but it has neutral matte tones and then shimmery colors. It is the perfect palette, really pigmented and really good for how cheap it is. Now for mascara, I would 100% recommend the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I use this all the time. It's a drugstore, it's a good product. It's really good if you're just putting your eyelashes on. It's really good if you sort of just want to make your eyes look nice. It doesn't really go clumpy. And another last thing for eyes, which is a double import of the Maybelline Big Eyes liner, purely because it is double-ended and cheap. You can use black if you're wanting to use like a black pencil just for your regular, you know, smoky eye or that kind of thing. Or white is always good for lining your waterline, or also if you want to make other colors stand out, I'll put white liner on my eyelid and then cover it with a shadow if I want them to pop. For lips, I'm just going to recommend a couple products that I really like. If you are just starting out and you want to go for a nice bold lip color but you just don't know where to start, I would 100% recommend the Maybelline Color Blur. They are super pigmented without having to spend much money. You can buy so many cheap lip products that are not pigmented and that look shit. These ones are really good because they're bright, they're pigmented, and they're easy to put on. They are so easy to just trace around your lips and color them in. Another one that I love is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. You would know I've used these before. They're very cheap. I recommend them personally for the neutral colors. The neutral colors are really amazing. I love, as you can see, I use London. I also use Abu Dhabi. Like, they're the perfect neutral colors, especially if you're going to school, and they'll last all day. If you're looking for neutral colors, which every makeup person loves, I would recommend getting these ones. And then there you have it. Those are like my top requested, what you need for your makeup starter kit. Some people will be like, oh my god, that's too much. But I'm not saying get every single one of these products. I was giving you different options. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Let me know what you would like to see next in the comments below. And let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. I'm more than happy to answer, as you guys know. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click that button down below, and like this video if you liked this and thought this was helpful. And hopefully I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!